Welcome back to We Still Like Each Other, the podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Stephanie.
And this is the podcast where we show that the honeymoon stage can last forever.
Forever and ever.
We're back.
Sorta, kinda.
We're back.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
We're back with a definitive schedule.
Every 2 weeks.
Every other week.
And hopefully it should be up in the morning. This is going to come out in the evening.
Yeah. It's been a rough month.
Super rough, but happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, my love. 9 years.
9 years. We started this podcast like in the middle of year 5. So this is like going on 4 years, but it's been a up and down roller coaster.
Yeah.
9 years is crazy.
Doesn't feel like 9 years.
Like, I'm still a baby. What do you mean I've been married?
I don't know. You were doing your hair earlier.
Grown as hell. What?
You were doing your hair earlier and had that patch of grays.
Oh, yeah. I'm still a baby, though. Even the grays, I'm like, oh, my God. Like, you had grays when I met you at 26 years old. Like, genetically, you just had grays really young.
Yeah.
So seeing mine, it feels like aging. But it's like, they're cute. They're cool.
Yeah.
I'm saying that now. When they're more obvious, I'll probably be like,
I like the way the grays look. My only issue with them is that, we have curly hair and they don't curl like the rest of your hair.
And that's really bad for me because my whole look is my curls. So if I have a bunch of grays that aren't cooperating, I'm going to have to transition into a different style.
I don't like the way you said my whole look is my curls.
Why?
Your look is your face. That's an accessory.
What was it that you said to me earlier?
You said something like, I don't look good with bald. And
okay. Let me clarify. My hair is a lot of work. I've had a really rough couple of weeks, and having to do my hair today took like a lot of energy that I struggled to find. So I was like, I wish I was fire bald. Like, I wish I looked better bald. And you were like, don't say that. And then I was like, well, I wish I was as confident.
No, I said it.
Okay,
I corrected it. I said
it.
You wish you were as confident as you are with curly hair bald.
Yeah.
Because you're still beautiful. Your face isn't going to change because of the hair coming out of it.
That's not true, but okay. Maybe it's like a filter. You know how you get accustomed to it?
But I've also seen you bald. I shaved your head for you.
I know.
And you were killing it.
I thought so, and I felt like I was trying to like really like be one with it, and it did help me like love my face more. But when I look back at that year of having no hair, and I look through my camera roll, I didn't take many pictures. Like, I feel like that's a sign to me that I wasn't as confident as I thought I was.
I mean, listen, it's your life, but from someone on the outside not on the outside, but I'm looking at you every day. I was very much attracted to you, and it wasn't determined by your hair length.
Thank you.
And like, what if, God forbid you had a condition where you lost your hair tomorrow? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
And I get in my head, I probably need a therapist for this, but sometimes I feel like I have to earn being bald. Like, if I was more fit, like if I was more dedicated to like having a fire body.
I'll distract them with my abs.
Yeah. Literally, kind of like with short hair, I always wore like statement earrings, or my eyebrows had to be perfect.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being attracted to your partner's look, their hair. Mm-hmm. But if that's the only thing that makes you attracted to them, then I think you have a problem.
I disagree, because it's not the only thing. I think it's just culturally, men are conditioned to like long hair. Like, it's just a thing. Like, I don't like when women say I'm not cutting my hair because my partner doesn't want me to. That's red flaggish. But I get how like even like the way it's hard for me to like truly love myself without hair. I know men are also conditioned to like connect beauty with long hair.
I guess I'm not saying you're wrong. I guess I'm speaking for myself. Yeah. I've never equated the two. Like, the longer the hair, oh my God.
Yeah.
I love your hair, don't get me wrong, but I also, if you wanted to go cut it right now live on the podcast.
I feel like the stress, you're like, it's not worth it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've thought about it, but then I'm like, nah. Because I do love my hair. I do love my curls. It's just I wish
And then,
it was
sorry to cut you off,
easier.
but like, how many men are out here looking cooked, going bald, trying to hold on to a few strands? Like,
Yeah.
the whole middle, the top is missing. Like, and what, we get grace because we hunter gatherer? Like,
Yeah, I don't even be hunting and gathering no more. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I don't, if there's one way of thinking that I think we need to get rid of, it's the whole hair conversation.
Yeah.
You're
Let it
beautiful.
go. Let it go. Yeah, what we were talking about, we spent so much time on this hair topic, I forgot. But I think in year 9, maybe we should talk about reflections about where we thought we'd be now.
I don't, I don't think about like where we're gonna be in our relationship. Like, I know that's your realm where you're like thinking ahead, and I'm just like, let's enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wear year 9 as a badge of honor. Most people nowadays don't even get married, let alone make it to year 9 of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to year 10 because that's like, now we in the big leagues. Even though we got annoyed early on where people would be like, "Oh, wait till year 10, year 15, year 20," but it's still cool. Like,
Yeah.
I'm proud of that because I know that it's taken some hard work to even get to year 9.
I think what people should talk to newlyweds about is, first of all, take away the pessimism, as if like horrible things are gonna happen, you're not gonna like each other, divorce is imminent. I think we should talk about how hard it is when challenges do come up and how to lean on each other to make it through it, because we're experienced enough to know that it's not easy, but it's hard in the way that, like, why do people even get married, right? Like, there's this negative connotation to, like, once you get married, the romance is gone. It's so hard. Why even bother? Like, stay single. Like, no, it's hard, but in a life progressing kind of hard, right? Kind of like working out is hard, but you get something good.
Yeah.
Saving money is hard, but then when you're able to make a really big purchase, it feels good. So marriage is hard in that way. Like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of like some corny analogy of how, like, maybe like pressure makes diamonds. Like,
Mhm.
you go through hard shit, but it's not like, ugh, why did I get married?
I always joke with my guy friends, even the ones who aren't married, but maybe in long-term relationships, that it always feels like we're all living the same simulation
No, for
because
real.
it's you'll see like a meme and then in the comments it's like, "Oh, yep, that's her. That's her." It's like,
Yeah, like marriage humor. It's super relatable.
it's super relatable, and it's kind of weird too. The most common one that comes up is, if you don't like having sex,
Mm.
get married.
Mm.
And you know, our sex life has gone through like its ups and downs, but I feel like averaging, like,
I feel like that's the one we don't relate to, though.
yeah, but also if you talk to any other married guy, they'll be like, drop a comment. They're like, "Yep."
Yeah, that's one of those ones that, like, is one of those stereotypes of, like, married people don't have sex.
Especially with children.
Especially with children. Thankfully, that's not ours.
But what would you say, there someone listening that may be struggling with that, what would you say is different for us?
I think for me, one, I enjoy sex, right? Like, I think individually, pleasure has to have some sort of value to you. Um, but to everyone else, like, even if, like, I'm struggling to find the words here, I'm rusty, but to me, sex is just like any other marriage issue, expectation, just like parenting, budgeting. Like, sex should be a line item on, like, things of importance that you need to take care of, that you need to nurture, right? Like, you know, you have things in your house. Like I have plants. You need to take care of them. To me, like maintaining a healthy sex life is like a core value in our marriage. So I'm not going to just ignore it. Just like we're not going to ignore our rent payments, just like we're not going to ignore our credit score. Like to me, it's just something that has to be addressed.
Yeah, but it also sounds like you're making like a checklist, right? Whereas some people view it, they want more romance, more, they want it to be more spontaneous.
So to me, checklists, yes, because I know it's something that I have to take care of. Like I'm not going to ever ignore it. But I don't mean so much checklist like I'm going to schedule sex type of thing. But it's going to happen. Like the same way if we notice we're falling out of a routine with our kids, with the house, we're like, oh, we need to catch up. We need to regroup and get this back in order. The same thing with sex. Like if it's been a few days, it's going on a week, we're like checking in with each other, like making sure that we're okay in that area. So that's why I'm like, it's like a line item.
Yeah,
I guess.
I hear that. And even the check-in doesn't mean like we're checking in to get to business. Sometimes it's just checking in like we're good, but you know, we've been dealing with X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's important to know. The check-in doesn't mean that we're going to get straight to Pound Town.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Year 9. I don't know. Is there anything you're looking forward to in year 9?
Just getting through this transition. I feel like when we started this podcast, we only had Eli. So in the past couple years, we had 2 extra children. We moved to New Jersey. Like
speaking of sex,
it's been a lot. So I just want to make it to year 10, and not on a like, oh my God, we might not make it. Like we will, but hoping that this year is just a little bit smoother, you know, like we're a year postpartum with our last child, like just hoping things get a little bit easier to get through the day to day. For me, year 9, sometimes I feel a little bit like I failed in certain aspects because in year 1, year 10 seems so far away. And I had these expectations of like, we'd be homeowners. I always talked about like year 10, I want a new wedding ring. Like it seems so far, and that like financially we'd be at this like different place, that we'd be taking like fancy family vacations by then.
Mm-hmm.
But we also weren't sure if we even wanted more children year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. We didn't decide on having more kids till year 5. So having to readjust what year 10 looks like. And also, I feel like people talk about those beginning years are the hardest. I think for us, these years are the hardest because of the changes, because of me going to get my master's degree to then just turn around and be a stay-at-home mom. From us having 1 kid to having 3, these years are the toughest. And I think that goes back to what I was saying about the advice to give married couples. It's not about years, it's about experience, about when you have kids, how that impacts you, when you change jobs, how that impacts you. Even when you have shifts in your own values, how that impacts you, right? Because if I'm reading, watching documentaries, and like my values and my life change, that can impact a marriage.
Yeah, we stopped drinking.
And that could impact people. For us, it was not a difficult transition because you were never a big drinker. I drank like a lot in college and socially. So when I stopped, you kind of stopped maybe a couple weeks later, and you're just like, why am I drinking? Like,
yeah, I've always been a lightweight, so it was always just like, what am I doing? I enjoy the taste. Like we would like maybe have wings and beers. Like you always like correlate the two, but it wasn't like this super difficult decision. Nor did we have a drinking problem. Like like we got bent one.
Yeah, like
night.
it's weird. Like we can't say we're sober because I feel like that kind of goes with like having an addiction. We just are not drinkers.
Yeah.
Which I love for us.
I love it too, but it is difficult to navigate.
How so?
And just, love my brother, my older brother. But as when I told him, he's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he made some joke. What did he say? He goes, how does it feel knowing this is going to be the best part of your day? Like,
like,
like without alcohol.
I think that's great though. Like, imagine you needed a substance to be the best part of your day.
No.
Like, I love that it's not required, and I've hung out with my girls.
It's difficult though. I remember when I did the 5-borough, we went out to a bar to get some food, and I had stuck to my guns, got a Pepsi or something or water, and like they ordered shots, and I'm just like, nope. And he's like, come on, man. I'm like, nope. And it's tough sticking to your guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't miss it. I don't miss it.
Me neither. I don't miss it. Like, I feel like it was such a social buffer. Like, when you're around certain people, it helps you like let loose. And
I was gonna say it challenges me more to be more creative socially, because you drink 2 beers and all of a sudden you feel like the man.
This guy's so cool too.
Exactly.
I don't want to be around people that I need to be drunk to tolerate them.
And not even tolerate. I'm just saying, just to get that that confidence boost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 2 years, right?
Almost. I'm gonna start counting the years on my birthday.
Okay.
So like when I turn 35, it'll be 2 years.
Gotcha.
Without drinking. I'm gonna just use that date.
Cool.
Yeah. You know why I'm gonna use that date? Because that's when I was pregnant with Santi, and I had just stopped drinking right before I found out I was pregnant. But that date just makes it easier to like remember.
Yeah. What else is new for us? I started a new job. That was a big jump.
Talking about marriage, like, and decision making and things that are tough. That's one. Like, changing jobs, right? It was gonna impact your schedule, and as a stay-at-home mom with 3 kids, like, knowing that you'd be coming home later, it was a lot to like accept, and it was a hard pill to swallow because financially we didn't have a choice.
Yeah, because it was obviously more money, but we are in a position where it was just like, you have to take the more money.
You have to take it.
Like we need it.
More money.
We need it, unless you're ready to go get a weekend job.
Which makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
We know we're in a place where more money is needed. We've had those tough conversations. Things are expensive, food's expensive.
Eggs.
Like we knew we needed more money, and changing our lifestyle in regards to me going back to work is not an option. So when this opportunity came, it was like a lot of gratitude that like more money was available, but then heartbreak because it was going to change your involvement in the house with the kids on Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And it was heartbreaking because in terms of what I truly, truly value, I value our time.
Yeah.
And I value you being here with our kids a little bit more.
Yeah.
But because of the reality of like adulting, you had to make more money.
And also, being honest, like not being financially responsible in certain aspects of our lives. And so kind of forcing our hand, right?
Because, like we didn't have the choice.
So, if we had been more financially responsible for the past 2 to 3 years, and an opportunity like this comes up, we could like look at it and be like, that is a lot more money, but you'd be getting home 3 hours later. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Like, imagine being able to just turn down more money because it just doesn't work for your family. And that's, when we talk about rich, that's the true definition of wealth to me now. Being able to like say no to more money because your quality of life is more important. And that shit's underrated.
Yeah. So I've been there. I started December 16th. So what is that? Almost 3 months.
Yeah.
Almost 3 months. And luckily,
things have worked out.
Things have worked out schedule-wise.
Yes.
I'm basically getting home around the same time I was before.
All that fear and all that stress and like And it's all working out for us.
Yeah, it's actually working out better, which is crazy to say.
I love that for us.
Yeah. In terms of my career, it's been like the best decision. Can't say too much there, but it's just been a really solid choice, and it's working out. Had a review today. It was on speakerphone, so Steph heard them.
I was gonna say I was eavesdropping, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I had it on speaker, so she heard them, like, you know,
praising him. It was really sweet to hear.
So yeah, very great choice for us as a family. No regrets.
None.
How's your career as a stay-at-home mother? How's that going?
Woo. It's going. I'm a homeschool mom. I'm finding my community. You know, I host a small group once a week at our home. We have like a membership to like a jungle gym, doing all of the things. I struggle. I feel like I'm navigating this strange space because I have a 11-year-old and then I have a toddler and a baby. So it's hard sometimes to give all three of them what they need at once, you know? So Eli needs a lot of attention because he's older, he's learning, he's reading, he's in these groups, he has these friends. And then I feel like the kids are just tagging along. And, you know, I'm trying to figure out a way that they have their enrichment activities that make sense. But it's not impossible. I just have to give myself grace and not overwhelm them with activities as well. I feel like in trying to make sure they're learning enough or doing enough, I'm probably overdoing it sometimes. I feel like I've said this before. I haven't changed. One thing that's cool is that one of the homeschool moms and I, we started like a little Instagram page to share like homeschooling things. It's called Homeschool Discovery. And I've started, should I say it?
Hell yeah.
You say it. I'm scared.
My multi-talented wife.
Stop it.
She started a blog. I'm really proud of you. It's called flexibleroots.com. Right now, there are 3 blog entries ready to read. The goal is to have a new one every week, maybe increase it, but you know, we got a lot of shit going on. But yeah, flexibleroots.com, and it covers everything from motherhood, womanhood, help me out.
That's it.
There's
Womanhood, homeschooling.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a busybody, you know, I am a stay-at-home mom. I'm already overwhelmed with like that. That's my career, right? Taking care of my family, taking care of my home. But I have like this desire to be like a little bit more creative, and Travis always bigs me up on like my writing skills. I have so much imposter syndrome because of that. I went to a writing high school, and I've been around a lot of people who I think are like, they're writers. Like, they're writers. So like I never really called myself a writer, but I'm trying to like lean into that. And share my journey, and it's a nice outlet for me to like pause my job, because every other job you clock in and out, or you have hours, you have vacation, and like my life is my job. So I think just taking a moment to write and practice those skills is helpful for me, my mental health, but I'm hoping that it also helps other people. I wrote this blog entry that was inspired by Eli about boundaries and about
I enjoyed that.
People pleasing. And I want you all to read it, but I can share the situation because I think it's interesting. So Eli came up to me one day and was like, I made a list of rules for when the homeschool group comes. And I instantly felt sick. Like, I was like, what do you mean you made a list of rules? Because in my head, I'm like, they're going to think you're bossy. And I'm also very like giving and open with my space. Like, I love hosting. So whenever people come over, I want them to feel like my home is your home. If you're hungry, you're thirsty, like whatever you need, make yourself comfortable. So like giving a list of rules just felt like it went against everything I am.
Mm.
But then when I read his list, it all was rational.
Reasonable.
Like, yeah, like it made sense. Like he didn't want people to touch his piano. Okay. He didn't want people to touch his taekwondo belts. Okay. He said no eating in my room, which is a house rule that I have. Cleaning up after everyone's done. And it's like,
But he said something right after that.
he said, I'll help. Like, you know, and his writing, like you have to read it. But you can tell that when he wrote it, he was intentional about not sounding bossy. He was more so like, these are my boundaries. And I want you to respect them. And it was so well written. Like, I literally didn't give him enough credit. And then it just made me think of how kids know how to set boundaries. And it's us adults that stop them from doing that. Just, you know, so that they look like they have good manners. They're obedient, well-behaved. But like, kids literally teach us so much when we like slow down and listen and give them a chance. So yeah, there's an article, there's a blog post on that. There's one on, you know, our Halloween costumes, and then one about why we homeschool. So yeah, if you want to read it, it's called flexibleroots.com.
.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
One more thing to add to your list of accomplishments.
Mm-hmm. I've been baking. I've been doing photography.
We got a whole backdrop, like professional backdrop.
Yeah.
It's been...
Mm-hmm. Is that, although I have zero desire to like go back to work, I enjoy like making money. Right? But I want to make money in a way that
makes sense.
Doesn't take me away from the kids. So like learning how to bake for them. I don't ever want to I don't ever want to sell cakes. Like that's not something I ever want to do. But I kind of want to show moms like they're capable of doing these types of things so that they save a little bit of money, but also find joy, take time to do the things that bring them joy. And I love to cook.
Yeah.
Photography, that's something that could possibly be a side income eventually. And I don't even know if I consider myself a content creator. Maybe the imposter syndrome is there, but learning how to take photos is a lucrative skill. So I'm excited to learn more. And Eli is also wanting to learn. So it's like a 2-for-1. We're like learning together, which is great.
Yeah. I think that's another thing about you being a part of these homeschool groups, that they're inspiring you. Because I know like you have friends that are, you know, baked for their kids, and it kind of is giving you the courage to take that leap. So I like that the community that you're building or we're building.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a part of it, and not as much, but I'm a part of it. You know, met some cool dads through wrestling. So
how do you feel like in terms of like being part of, I don't know, what is the community, homeschoolers? Or
I just think it took us almost 2 years of living here before we started to say we have friends out here. So I think that's cool to say. People we could rely on, you know, people who have even like watched our babies for you to like run to an appointment. That's you know, that's the goal anywhere that you plant roots. So I'm glad we have roots. Damn, you beat me too. I was gonna say, I'm glad we have some flexible roots.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole reason flexible roots came to me. Because when we think of roots, we think of something strong, sturdy, right? Which they are, which is important. They hold giant trees up, but they're flexible, right? Like they wind, they adjust, they adapt. You see roots coming out of like the concrete, adapting to things. And I think when people get married, it's like, I'm setting roots. But it's not this thing that doesn't change. Those roots take twists and turns, and there's droughts they have to deal with and still make it through. So flexible roots, it's really a metaphor to like life and being adaptable.
No, I love it. I love the name. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kudos to you. What else is going on?
I was gonna ask just to have like a random topic. Like, do you want to talk about what TV shows you're watching?
Yeah. What have we been watching? Love is Blind.
It's so boring this season.
Love is Blind, a little bit of Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
We both weren't a fan of The Bachelor. And then like maybe episode 1, we were.
Yeah, so the season that he originated from when he was a contestant on The Bachelorette, we thought he was kind of corny, lame. I don't know, like I didn't see the appeal. But then he is Black, so we always try to support the Black bachelors, the Black bachelorettes. So we watched it, and like episode 1, he changed our mind. We were like, oh, he's such a great dude. Like, okay, I see it. Like him having his own stage, I think we got to know him a little bit more.
We we rewatched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
For the third or fourth time?
Third time. That's because we've been so. Speaking of shit getting hard for us, whatever everyone's been having, like a flu, whether it's another COVID, whatever, it hit us, and it hit us bad. So it started with the 2 babies. Then it was me, but it hit me like if it was COVID. Like my body was killing me. You know how you have like hairs on your arm and you pull them up or down? When I pulled my hairs up, like just swiped up, it was pain. Like literally my hair follicles hurt. That's how much body aches I was having. So yeah, I was in bed and I was binge watching Game of Thrones when I should have been reading my book.
Yeah, it was a stressful time. So the goal is moving forward that we're going to put ourselves in position to succeed and not binge an old show.
We started Paradise.
Yes, we hopped on the Paradise hype train.
Everyone's talking about Paradise. Thankfully, everyone's like, oh my God, this show is great, but not like posting spoilers. So we haven't seen any spoilers, but it's really good. It's on Hulu.
Any other shows?
I watched that documentary on...
Oh, the YouTube Mom?
Yes, Ruby Frankie. Insane. I will say it was absolutely bonkers. Religion played a huge role in it, and a lot of the like cult documentaries you see and like weird internet stuff, religion plays a role in it, which is nuts. But I feel like people are taking that and like trying to demonize families who vlog. But I'm like, that's not really the main corporate.
They don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think what really influenced her was the religious side. Like she met this like woman who was supposedly a psychologist who had her license revoked, and they used religion to kind of manipulate their children, their families, and it led them down a dark path. Not the vlogging. Yeah. There was some red flag stuff, like in terms of like she would kind of like force their kids to talk when they didn't want to talk, force her husband to talk when he didn't want to talk. Like, yes, they had weird vlogging things, which are valid and I think people should discuss. But the real diabolical abuse and all that stuff that happened was like some weird culty religious kind of thing that happened. But it's on Hulu too. I think it's called Frankie. What was her name? Ruby Frankie. I think Frankie was the last name.
Okay.
Documentary, but it was nuts.
Yeah. I think that's it for media.
Yeah. How you feeling that new Drake album?
It's on repeat.
Drake and Party Next Door.
Yeah. Been listening to that nonstop. I got 3 physical CDs sitting on my desk right there.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who asked me. Oh, my dad asked me like, why would you buy it 3 times? I'm like, I want to support my favorite artist. If I want him to continue to make music, this is my small way. Like, yeah, it's been a big, huge part of my life through breakups and heartache and doing fuckboy shit. Like, that's been the soundtrack of my life. So, yeah, we're big OVO over here.
Yeah, definitely. And that whole situation, it like, people could have their opinion about hip hop and music, but as a mom, which sounds dramatic and corny, but I can't imagine like the biggest song in the country is a lie calling my son a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is just insane. Like
Yeah.
that takes it to like a weird place that like I can't support, you know? And to be honest, I've never been a huge Kendrick fan besides the popular stuff, so I ain't gonna fake it. But yeah,
Anywho,
Champagne Poppy House.
do you want to play that clip you found?
Oh, I won't play it, but I could talk about it.
Okay.
So
I could insert it too.
okay.
So you want to play it and then I'll just insert it?
No, you didn't. I wasn't ready to pull it up. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to find it quick right now.
Okay, so I'll pause it and play it and then.
So yeah, basically. But wait, that's gonna sound weird. If I was just gonna explain it, but I don't have to explain it if you're gonna play it.
All right, so just talk about it. We're not even editing any of this up. Keep going.
So basically, a woman says that her husband was leaving to work and he texted her or called her and said, "I was running late. Can you please take out the trash?" And that she was like, "Absolutely not." She was like, "Nope, that's just not what I do. I'm a girl. That's a boy job. I don't care if the garbage stays there all day. I will start a new bag of garbage before I take the garbage out." And my gut reaction was just like, I hate this so much and I hope it's satire. But then it looked like in the comments like it wasn't satire. Like she was serious.
Or in the comments, weren't there women like, "Yeah, you're damn right." Like they refuse to touch garbage.
Yeah. And I get it. Like I find it like I hate when people have this stupid issue, garbage. Like why is taking out the trash an issue in a marriage? Like there's so many other things that we have to deal with. Why can't you just take the damn trash out? Like that shouldn't be an issue. I get that.
You're saying why can't the woman take out the trash?
No, the man. Like it should, like, cause in a lot of relationships, trash becomes a big issue. Like reminding you to take the trash out. You forget to take the trash out. I gotta take it out all the time. We don't have that issue. You take out the trash most of the time. But if there's ever a day that you're running late and you're like, "Can you take it out?" I'm gonna take it out. Like it would never occur to me. But I think it's because we have a healthy relationship with that. Like it isn't an issue. So if you forget one day, it's no big deal for me to take it out. I don't want garbage in my house all day and start a new bag of garbage on the side. Like that just makes no sense. That to me creates more problems because I'm going to have to smell it. The kids are going to be able to get into it. I'd rather just take the trash out. So I just think the flexible roots, we have to know how to bend a little when it's okay. And I think the foundation of that is a healthy relationship. Like knowing this person does make an effort. This person does take the trash out 99% of the time. So I can take it out this day and it's not this huge thing.
What do you think about roles like that though? Like you refuse to clean baby bottles for whatever reason. You don't like it.
Yeah.
I've grown to accept that. And when on the rare occasion that you do the dishes, you'll just do everything and leave the bottle.
Leave the baby bottles for you. Yeah. What?
I mean,
what's the question?
I think I just wanted to say that, right?
I want everybody to know.
No, but that's a role in a sense, right? I know I'm the baby bottle cleaner because for whatever reason you don't like doing it. So
yeah, but like let's say this is hard because we do dishes at night and it's one thing that like in our relationship and our household, that's one of those rules we don't break. We do not leave dishes overnight. Like it's just something that doesn't happen. But let's say hypothetically, if you rushed out in the morning and the bottles weren't done, I was going to have to do them. Like, I'd probably be annoyed by it, but I'm not going to be like, no, let me Instacart new baby bottles to the house. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's roles. I think sometimes you just fall into certain routines. But I will say, bringing it back to one of our issues with cooking, the same way, like, you can call me and say, like, oh, I was rushing out, I forgot to take the trash out. I want to be able to say, like, I took out some chicken, but I'm running late with this activity with Eli. Can you start dinner?
Mm.
And you're not on some, that's your role, that's not your attitude, but you also haven't taken the initiative to actually have basic cooking skills to be able to say, okay, no problem, I'll do that.
Wait,
Your
what?
face. It sounds like I'm shitting on you, but it's the
No,
truth.
it's true. It's funny that we're having this conversation because I was speaking with my dad yesterday and we were talking about cooking. I forget how it came
He
up.
cooks.
He does cook. He was giving me some tips on what he does. Like when there's a meal that he likes, he'll like write a recipe so that he can reference it. He's like, "What is it? You don't like doing it?" I was like, "I don't."
You just don't like it?
But he says, and then he was like, he pushed back and he was like, "But like, you know that feeling at the end when it's done?" I was like, yes, I do enjoy that, but the process to get there, because I referenced, my famous chicken parm that I followed the YouTube like step by step by step, and it came out really good. So I did feel accomplished there, but in terms of just, I don't feel like I have the confidence to like, you go in there, you could just fucking measure with your 3 fingers this amount of seasoning.
But like,
and
you just started a new job and you had to learn. You had to Google. You had to ask questions. You're not just good at this brand new job. I honestly think the crutch is you knowing that I'm going to do it. The crutch is you knowing that, like, if I don't want to do it, you're going to just order Uber Eats. You're going to just get in the car and go pick up McDonald's drive-thru. That's the crutch. Because you know how to attack something you don't know how to do yet. Like, you're not, our quality of our podcast has improved over the years. Like, you're not afraid of a challenge. I just think there's like a roadblock of like, this is not something I have to get better at, which is annoying.
Yeah, I can see that. Still one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to figure it out.
Before
We
year
need
10.
to unpack that.
Before year 10.
Yep.
Where were we? Roles.
Yeah.
What would you say my role is in this marriage?
No, you're our provider. Like, you work, you pay the bills, you pay the rent, you buy our food. Like,
Okay, that's you just listed everything under providing. What else?
you are a provider. You're also, how do I say it? Like, I don't know if there's a role, but you're like, anything I want to do for the family, I need your support and you're there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like a co-captain.
And you're the captain.
Like the assistant principal. Yeah.
And you're the principal.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. I prefer it that way.
Yeah. I think, and I feel like we fell into that because I tend to be like more of a natural, like, planner, leader. But that comes with, again, we need to be flexible in that because, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think naturally that's who you are, and that's the way our marriage, that's what our marriage is molded into. But I think, with that comes its own set of problems, because speaking of flexibility, there needs to be the ability to be able to sit in that captain seat sometimes. And I think a reoccurring argument or discussion that we have conversation that we have is that, God forbid, or like, forget an extreme example. Like, if you just don't feel like doing something, it shouldn't all fall to shit.
Yeah.
And I'm trying, or at least I'm going to try better.
Yeah, I feel like for me, sometimes I feel that I, as the captain, the principal, sometimes I feel like, okay, who's taking care of me? because I'm taking care of everyone else and I'm taking care of myself. But there's something like, I think all humans have this desire to feel nurtured and cared for, right? Um, and it's like, yes, as much of a boss bitch as I want to be and I can handle and do all these things, like it feels great when you are in turn also being taken care of, right? Um, and I don't know, it's something like, even the way like you're the provider, that doesn't mean my brain stops thinking about like ways to make money and
Mm.
like do things, like even if it's just a couple dollars here or there, like my brain has that little bit of always being a hustler, right? So it's the same, like although I'm leading it, the planner, having someone that's also on their mind, like maybe they can't fully plan something but can throw ideas around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like a little give and take on everything. Like people are naturally givers, still want someone to give to them sometimes.
I hear that. And I hope I have an update for y'all in the next few weeks that I'm, living up to that more and more. Because, I
Where do
want
you
to,
feel like you're falling short?
I think on the making you feel cared for, because, and I feel like I care for you, but
Of
just
course, yeah.
I care for you like in the literal definition of what it means to care for someone, but there's like what I'm doing and what you want.
Mm.
So I just think they need to align. And my goal is that I can do better because, like I've told you a lot this week, you and my family, my kids are the most important thing to me. So
Yeah.
I, outside of our little bubble, like I just want you to feel like really whole in here and not have any stressors. Like obviously we're going to have to deal with outside forces and the state of the world, but I feel like we need to be strong in here. So, if there's something I'm not doing, I want to get back on track and
I
figure
saw
it out.
something about a post, and the woman was saying that luxury for women in their 30s and 40s is like being able to just turn off their brain for a second. And I think as like the co-captain, not the co-captain, as the captain of the house, like my brain's always on. And like when you go to work, your brain's on, but you're able to stop. My whole identity revolves around my family, so my brain's always on. So being able to have those moments where my brain could turn off and I know things are going to be okay because the co-captain could step into place, And I feel like it's worth mentioning it. It's not like everything goes to shit. It's not like we don't eat. It's not like you don't care. Like the bare minimum gets done with our kids are taken care of, but we're eating McDonald's. Like the little things of like, yes, but can we do better?
Yeah. I agree. There's going to be people listening to this conversation and maybe get caught up in the whole captain and co-captain and how do you feel about, there's a strong community of people who would say, well, that's your first problem. You got your woman calling herself the captain.
Fuck them. I honestly feel like our audience aren't those kind of people. If we make like a clip and like people are like, whoa, I mean, that's
but
the
those people listen. So whether it's they're part of the community or they do it just to, hate listen. But
yeah.
What do you say to those people?
But this is not your business. Mind your business. Honestly, I don't know, because it's like clearly we're teammates. That's for sure. Clearly, like I love you, respect you, honor you. I wear your name proudly. You're my husband, and I love that. Like I'm proud to say that. Like you're the head of the household in that sense, right? But not in the weird patriarchal weird way that like just because you're the man what you say goes, and like no, like I set the rhythm of our home because I'm here. And that's just what makes sense. So fuck those people. Nah, I'm kidding. But do what works for you. And I'm sure I don't speak like, for example, like the women's movement, right? And it's like women should work and be able to do whatever they want. I agree. They should do whatever they want. But there's women should also, if they want to stay home, if they want to be stay-at-home moms and bake sourdough bread and go hiking with their kids and like freaking do all that stuff, that should be okay. And I feel like it's frowned upon. And even myself, like I'm always reminding people I have a master's degree because it's embedded in my own head. Like I can't just say I'm a mom. I'm always like, I used to be a teacher, like because I can't even stand in it myself and feel proud. So again, there are some women who are okay in their dynamic that their husbands are the ones who are leading and taking the role, and they like to sit back and take that seat. Totally fine. That's just not our dynamic.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because I find myself doing that too when I'm talking about you. Like I'll, oh, stay at home mom, but yeah, former teacher.
We gotta stop that shit. It's hard. I've been doing better. Like I don't have to say it if it comes up in another way. But like
I feel like we're programmed to like look at stay-at-home mothers as lesser than, or it's like it's like, it's like working a job you're not proud to say like my role is so and so. So I think
like I work for McDonald's, but I'm a district manager. Like yeah. Let's go. Let's finish this up. Happy anniversary, my love.
Happy anniversary. I think, we're back on a schedule every other week. Have some ideas that we need to flesh out in terms of, how we want to interact with you all. I want to bring back so y'all can relate. I just had this idea, like I was thinking like leaving a voicemail that we could play on the pod.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of ideas. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we'll have them worked out so we can implement them. But I'm excited to be back.
Yes. We'll have more structure next time. We felt like we needed just a catch up, just a talk, just a check in.
Yeah. We're back in your living rooms.
Let us know what questions you have.
Please.
Any topics you want us to discuss, send it to our DMs.
As always, we know a lot of you listen because I got the stats. So and we know all of y'all got social media. Please interact with our content.
Yes, comment, share.
Come to Instagram, join the conversation. Just let us know you're listening.
The algorithm, it wants you to post like every single day. And like as a freaking family of 5, it's impossible to do that. So you guys interacting, even if you're just sharing it with a friend, sharing it back to us, commenting, emoji, hello, how you doing, liking our stories, interacting with the poll we put, it all helps.
Yeah. So come to our socials, go to YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything.
If you haven't left us a review,
just take 2 minutes out of your day. It's something we do for fun. At the end of the day, this is not even paying a light bill.
Yeah.
It's literally because it's something we enjoy doing. So yeah. My love.
Daddy.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Do you still like me?
I do very much still like you.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.